Thank you for joining us. I'm here with Consulate General Anthony Branker, currently in Toronto. How are you, sir?
Hi, Troy. I'm doing quite well. Thanks for having me today.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I know you're a busy man, so I really appreciate you doing this.
No problem at all. No problem. I
Yeah.
look forward to having this interview with you.
Well, let's get into a little bit about your role and perhaps how it came to be, a bit about your background.
Yeah, well, I came out of the private sector. I really was never into the government, working with government at all. I actually worked in the private sector for a a regional distribution company in the Caribbean called Massey. I was with them, a director with them. I was responsible for business development and procurement and so forth. And I was also the head of the Barbados Chamber of Commerce, the president. So my tenure would have started just at the end of COVID. Even though we were at the end of COVID, the effects of the COVID-19 were still very much with us. And therefore, I had to work closely with government to seek how we could ease some of the burden on the consumers. So representing private sector, I had a lot of negotiations with government, and that is how they got to see me and got to know me in terms of those tough negotiations. And then a few years after leaving the chamber, I got a call one night asking me if I'd be interested in coming here, to serve in this capacity. The truth is, I was close to retirement from the private sector. So I said yes, and here I am today with a mandate that says, you know what, you apart from all the diaspora work, you have to be focused a lot more on business development for Barbados here in Canada.
Yeah, no, absolutely makes sense. And had you been to Canada prior to your
Yeah. My
designation?
wife has a number of uncles and aunts here in Canada, so we had visited several times before. Canada was the one place I had told my wife that if I were to live anywhere else, it would be in Canada, and it so turns out I'm living here now.
So maybe for those who don't know, maybe you can speak to the role of the Consulate General and the mandate for your post.
Yeah, so I'll come back to the business side of it. The
Yeah,
consulate works with the High Commission that is in Ottawa, but the consulate has a very specific role to look after the Barbadian diaspora here that is spread all across Canada. So we interface with the diaspora in terms of persons wanting to get their passports renewed, driver's license renewal, those type of things we support them on. And there may be some persons who find themselves in a bit of distress as well, that we would have to attend to those persons. We always have a lot of visiting teams and so forth coming up to Canada. Again, we try to support them and ensure that everything goes well on their visit. But then for me, there's a focus on business development. So we look for opportunities to get foreign direct investment into Barbados. That would be great. But also, any way that we can increase trade both ways into Canada and into Barbados. We're looking to develop business and build the partnership that we have with Canada, because the Barbados-Canada relationship has been a long one, an outstanding one from the days of Errol Barrow. It
right.
has been a long-standing relationship.
And speaking to that, do you know how long the office has been in existence in Canada? The role of the
Well,
Consul General?
the first diplomatic office that was set up was the High Commission in Ottawa, because the High Commission functions between government to government. So that one is about 59 years old. It is 59 years old. That was set up in 1967, I think, if my math is correct, 1967. And then the consulate followed, and the consulate was in 1981, which would make it 45 years. So the consulate came
long-standing.
sometime after about 14 years after the High Commission. As I said, because the High Commission is a government-to-government type relationship, whereas the Consulate, obviously having so many Barbadians migrate to Canada for various reasons and for studying and so forth, they then recognized that there was need for someone to look after the needs of Barbadians here.
And how many consulate offices exist in Canada? There's certainly one out of Toronto. Are there other offices in other?
No others.
Okay, yeah. You're the sole representative of that post.
Yeah.
And does your mandate take you across Canada? Are there certain sectors that you cater more to, that you pay more attention to?
Well, I do have a diaspora affairs officer in office who has a responsibility for all of Canada.
Okay.
So regardless of where you are in Canada, when it comes to diaspora matters, we will attend to that, yes. Well, 2026 happens to be Barbados' 60th anniversary of independence. So there's a lot being planned to ensure that we can celebrate that 60th anniversary here in Canada in a real meaningful way. So we are expecting the Prime Minister to be here in September for a gala ball. So that is definitely taking up a lot of time, ensuring that we're working with the Grant Morris Foundation, but ensuring that we have a beautiful evening that that will be memorable to all who will attend. And obviously, keeping me busy as well is also looking at how I can come up with a business forum, a business event that goes on year after year. Even when I leave, that will be, the business event for Barbados every year at this time. I'm putting a lot of thought into what that event should be and what it should look like, because I think that there is no singular event that identifies Barbados and all the potential that Barbados has for investment. So I think we need to have such an event in place.
Absolutely. That would seem like a major opportunity, that in of itself, for sure. And I know you kind of touched on this a little earlier, but maybe you could speak to some of the requests that you see coming into your office, things that people would ask of you as the Consulate General for Barbados in Toronto or in Canada.
Well, one of the main things persons recognize that Barbados is continuing to punch above its weight. As a small developing island, we have a passport that is one of the strongest in the Caribbean.
Right, the welcome stamp, right?
Well, the welcome stamp is one thing, but our passport. So what is happening is that a lot of people who have Barbadian heritage are now seeking and asking and calling to find out how can they become a Barbadian. So therefore, when you get your Barbadian citizenship, you then are entitled to a Barbadian passport. And that is one of the areas that we're finding a lot of people interested in becoming Barbadian citizens. We also have a lot of people who want to understand, about going back home. What entitlement would they have if they return as a returning national? They've retired and want to go back to Barbados and settle. They want to understand what are the benefits that they have. And certainly there are a slew of benefits for them. So people will be asking about those type of things as well.
As you know, my specialty is in real estate, and I certainly have an interest in connecting Canadians in the broader Barbadian diaspora to opportunities in Barbados. And I'd like to get your sense of the appetite you're seeing for actual real investments and long-term stays in Barbados. Have you noticed a shift, let's call it post-COVID, for a broader interest in terms of a more substantial investment into Barbados with Canadians?
Well, Canadians have always had Barbados as, a favorite destination. yes, apart from the UK, apart from the US, apart from CARICOM, Canada was that number 4 destination and continues to be that number 4 destination for arrivals into Barbados. But at the same point in time, we have definitely recognized that Canadians are definitely, and Barbadian Canadians, I should say, are definitely looking for opportunities to invest in property in Barbados. As a matter of fact, there are a number of realty companies that come here, I know, to Toronto, and they put on show what they have available, because the truth is that when you look at what Barbados offers, there is a certain stability that comes with Barbados that many of the other islands that have the SPC and the sun that we have, they don't have. Right. We have infrastructure that supports that stability. So we have a road network, we have internet and internet support that is, nonstop. We have electrical supply that is consistent. So when you come to Barbados, you're not going to a third world country, you're coming to a very developed country. And therefore, what we've found too is that a lot of people are building properties and may spend a lot of the winter months there, and then they would lease out the property. That's another option, because persons are putting them up and people are renting them out during the times that they come back up to Canada. So a person who is looking to get into the real estate business between Barbados and Canada would say to you, yes, but you have to understand the sector you're going off after, because Barbados attracts very wealthy people, and then we also attract the working class person. You have to determine which of those sectors you're going after, because you have to know upfront the target market that you're going after.
We have an aging population. I have a personal circumstance, even within my own family, where the elders, our parents, have properties in Barbados, and it's now on the children to help navigate what to do with these properties. I don't know if you've been seeing that dynamic quite a bit, but I know it exists. And I was wondering, if anything, how the Consulate General Office could help navigate those type of waters, that type of scenario, where in which they're having to negotiate with entities in Barbados at a far distance, albeit Canada.
Yeah. Well, the truth is, there's little that we can do. I think what we can do here is maybe put on a workshop around estate planning.
Right.
Because as long as the parent or family member in Barbados puts a will in place, the will be executed, and as long as you have an attorney, things will fall into place. I think where the challenges come is where there's no will, and you then have to take out letters of administration, and you have to go through a long process to secure and prove who you are and all. So I think what would be could be done is an estate planning seminar, but the truth is that some of our family members in Barbados are just not into putting wills in place, because they feel when you put a will in place, you will die.
Right. Yeah.
So, but that is really the answer to it, because there's not much that an entity like the Consulate or any other association can do, because it's a legal matter. And there is a process for you to secure that property, but it is going to be a lengthy process without having, the legal side to stand on through a lease, through a will.
So, taking the time to do the due diligence and getting ahead of the matter, right? Being proactive and getting ahead of the matter.
Best way, yeah.
Yeah, right.
But I think many of our older population have not been well trained in planning for the estate. And I think it is a difficult conversation because you as a child or grandchild going up to your mother or father or grandmother or father and saying, it's about time you do a will.
Right.
It's a sensitive topic that you have to approach in the right way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, as a first generation Canadian with my mom's from Barbados, I wanted to have a little fun with you actually at this point. I want you to judge my Bajan. Okay. I want you to assess my Bajan. It's a very difficult accent. I know not for natives, but for ourselves that are second generation that have grown up and heard it all my life. So I've been working on it because it's a very hard dialect for me.
Let me know when you switch into Bajan.
Okay. I'm going to give you the context. Okay, so we have a mutual friend, our friend Dr. Morris Scantlebury. So we have a mutual friend named Ryan. Okay, so I'm giving you the context of where I'm getting this invitation from.
Yeah.
So he's overhearing Morris and I talk about development opportunities in Barbados, right? And this is his response. So this is my imitation basically of him and his response. So here I am. Okay, so I'm saying basically to Morris, well, I think there's great opportunities in Barbados for development, and the idea you have, we should talk more about it, right? So Ryan's off to the side now, and he says, "Yeah, you're a real estate." Thank you, man.
That's it.
Thank you. That's it. That's all I got. How was that?
No,
How was that?
You gotta give me more than that, man. You gotta give me more than that.
I gotta work on it. That's all I got for you for now.
Well, out of 10,
you're the real estate.
Out of 10, I'll give you a 4.
Oh my goodness.
A 4. Yeah. No, you gotta give me more than that because you just rehearsed those few words. That was just it. No, it has to be more than that.
Okay, I'm gonna come back, work on it.
Yes.
Expand upon it.
Yeah, you gotta give me a little more than that to get beyond the 5.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'll take the 4 for now, and come back and see if I can get up to a 7, 8.
Yes. Yeah. So where have you been in Barbados?
Well, I've my mom's from Spanish. So what am I saying? I'm from Christchurch. And when my first visit there was back home, and I believe, and don't quote me because it was a long time ago, around Barby's Hill. I think that was the area.
Barby's Hill is in St. Michael, yes.
So, okay. And my cousin got married, and we stayed at Oceans in St. Lawrence. Yeah.
St. Lawrence, yeah.
Yeah. And the last visit we had, we were in St. James.
Okay.
We were in St. James around there.
What was your favorite thing to do when you were in Barbados?
Favorite thing to do? Honestly, nothing much. Going to the beach. Oysters fish fry is definitely at the top of the list for sure. But when I get down there, just doing nothing much at all. Consulate Branker is my favorite thing. Is getting to the beach, thinking about nothing much. Having a rum punch, I'm good.
I think that is one of the things that we don't sell enough. The side of Barbados that is an easygoing side that you can do just as you said. Go and sit on the beach, have a rum punch, and do nothing. Watch people people pass by. I remember my days of going to the Garrison Savannah, just parking my car, allowing the breeze to blow through and just watching people, enjoying it.
Simple.
Simple, yeah.
And I think that's part of the beauty of Barbados as well, is that whatever you want to get into, you don't want to do anything much. There's plenty of opportunities to do that. And then if you want to go sightseeing or be more adventurous, all sorts of opportunities to do that. And if you want to conduct business on a professional level, they can accommodate you at the highest level.
That's why I had mentioned in terms of you and real estate in Barbados, because there's so much variety in the real estate market, because You can be in a place like St. John or St. Joseph and be so far away from everything else and wake up just to the ocean breezes blowing, and that's the type of experience that some people want. Some
Right.
people want to be on the West Coast where you're close to all the activity and all the wealthy people, and yet there are others who want a combination of that. And so there's a lot of options in terms of the real estate market that a person in your position should be aware of, because there are many options to sell.
Absolutely. I was speaking with some of the developers there, and what people don't realize is the Canadian connection to a lot of the projects. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the large Pendry over it's in St. James.
Yeah, definitely.
And
I am. Yes.
yeah, and that is being built constructed by a Canadian company,
Yes.
Acon, and Apes Hill as well. The major investor for that is also Canadian. So
Lens Tech.
that's right. That's right.
Yes.
That's right. So the connection continues and continues to expand. And
Of course,
yeah,
there's a lot of, even more recently, as Barbados hosted Carifta in 2025, just around early September 2025, and there was a wooden structure constructed in the Christchurch area by the Montrose roundabout, a big wooden structure that there was some of the activities held there for Carifesta, and that was built by a Canadian company, all wood.
right.
But you can't miss it when you leave the airport heading to Bridgetown. You can't miss it. As I said, the relationship with Canada goes back to the days of our first Prime Minister, L. Barrow.
Mhm.
And the then Prime Minister was Pierre Trudeau. And
That's right.
they had a friendship that really created the relationship from then until now, because Barbadians are fortunate that we don't have to apply for a visa to travel to Canada, whereas all the other Caribbean islands they have to apply for a visa.
Right.
We simply complete the ETA, and that's it. Again, that is because of the relationship that was built over 60 years ago. We have Air Canada flying into Barbados over 60 years.
Yeah,
So the relationship, as I said, was built on a friendship, Barrow and Trudeau, and it has lasted. So the relationship between Barbados and Canada is one that we would not want to put in any form of risk at all.
Absolutely, and we continue to foster and build upon.
Of course, yes, definitely.
Consulate Branker, I really, really appreciate your time. If anyone wanted to,
Troy, it's Consul General.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, let's get it right.
Let's get it right. Consulate General Anthony Branker.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us and for joining me, and continued success.
Of course, and I just pray that you are successful in your endeavors. I think there's a fabulous idea in terms of exposing more and more persons through this program. So I thank you for the opportunity, and any way I can help, just let me know. No problem.
I appreciate that. And if anyone wanted to contact you, Consul General, is it email? What's the best way to direct people?
Well, we have a website. We are on Instagram. We're on social media, all the formats.
Sure.
But yeah, so there is an email address for the consulate. So
yeah,
I don't know it off the top of my head.
It's okay. I'll add it in the notes at the end of this segment.
But yeah, you come to the Consul General. If you wanted to get me directly, my admin assistant will then pass it on to me.
Have a great day.
Thank you.